Okay, we have learned how to solve the system of equations in 2 variables and 3 variables if they're linear. And we also learned how to solve the system of nonlinear equations in 2 variables, just x and y. And today we're going to start a new topic, which is the system of equations, not equations, the system of inequalities. That is something new, right? Systems of inequalities. Now, do you remember when you learned for not the system, just the inequalities, if you get x greater than 5 as your answer, and that would be on the number line, here's a 0, here's a 5, here's x. So this is the way you show it, right? Okay, very similar if you have a system of inequality, which is you have x and y, you have like just not a single x. Usually the solution you have is going to be a region. So you're not going to be able to list, just like this one, you're not going to be able to list all the answers. However, you can use a graph to show that answer. Then for every single point in your region, or like this one, for every single point in your shaded part, that x value or that pair of x, y will be able to satisfy your inequality. Okay, so for example, do you know to do this? Y, okay, I want you to solve 4x minus 2y greater than or equal to 8. I'm going to use this one as an example to show you how to solve this. All right, 4x minus 2y greater than or equal to 8. This has x and y. They have both x and y involved. All right, now what I would ask you to do is remember the following steps. The first one, make it equal. Make it as an equation. So just forget about the inequality sign. What you need to do is you make that to be 4x minus 2y equals 8. Okay, or you can already see that all the coefficients are divisible by 2, so I can just do that. I get a 2x minus y equals 4. Of course, 2x minus, excuse me. So if you would like, you can just write that as y equals 2x minus 4. It doesn't really matter you want to use this one or this one or this one. It doesn't really matter. So number 2, you make it as an equation and then you can graph it. You want to graph this, okay? So how do you graph this line? If you want to graph the line, then that's going to be a straight line, so you need 2 points. So if you want to graph, you can choose the x and y. You choose 2x value. You can choose x equals 0, and you can choose x equals, let's say 2. Of course, you can choose 1, okay? So when x equals 0, 2 times 0 is 0 minus 4, okay, that's y. And when x equals 2, 2 by 2 is 4 minus 4 is 0. Can you graph the line? Yep. Here's x, here's a y. Right, here's a 0, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, and here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so where are the points? 0, negative 4. Oh, it's negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the other one is 2, 0. It's right here. So I'm going to use this to get this line. So this line is y equals 2x minus 4, or you write a 4x minus 2y equals 8, or you write a 2x minus y equals 4. It doesn't really matter. It's the same line. Okay, so this is a plane, right? This is the x and y coordinated plane. It's like a flat surface. And I got a line here. So this line will cut my plane into 2 parts. Now, if I choose any point in this part, I bring that into my initial inequality. If the coordinate of the point I choose from here satisfy this, then that means the whole area will be my solution, right? And if I choose a point on this side, either side, right, you choose both, choose one in each side. So you choose a point here, you plug that in here. If it doesn't work, that means the whole area is not your solution. Sounds good? All right, now, here is a line. So what are the points you want to choose? We call that test point, or points. Usually we have to choose more than one. So remember, I just keep in mind here, we get a 4x minus 2y greater than or equal to 8. That's my initial inequality. So I choose the test points, one from this side, the other one from the other side. If that has a 0, 0, I always want to choose 0, 0, because that's easy. And the other one, I probably want to choose a 4, 0 or a 3, 0, because that's on the other side. If you want to choose 3, negative 1, that's totally fine. Like I said, you've got to choose any point in this part. So I'm going to choose a 4, 0 to just make it a little easier. So let's see. So if I put 0, 0 into my inequality, 4 times 0 minus 2 times 0, it's 0 minus 0, which is 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to 8? No. Okay. And what about a 4, 0? When x equals a 4, when x equals a 4, 4 times 4 is 16. And a minus 2 times 0, which is nothing here. So 16 is 16 greater than or equal to 8. That is this. So remember, here is your test point. Okay, I'm going to use a little, because I use this and I use this. I use these 2 points. And then when I find out is this point is not working, but this point is working. Therefore, I am going to be able to shade the whole area here, and that will be my solution region. One more thing. Okay, this one will give you the solution region. Okay, and then we have a step 4. What is a step 4? We're going to use a solid line or dotted line. What does that mean? Okay. Now, I want you to go back to this part. When I try to show something on the number line, if 5 is included, we use a solid point. If 5 is not included, we use a circle, right? We use a little circle because we said, okay, 5 is not included. And this one, when we draw the line, if this line, the point on this line is included in my solution, then I'm going to put a solid line. If not, then I'm going to put a dotted line. How can you tell? Just by this sign. Okay. If this sign has equal, see here is greater than or equal to, then I'm going to use a solid line. Okay. If this only goes 4x minus 2y greater than 8, I'm going to put a dotted line. So that line will look like this. All right. Now, you might say, wait a second. Well, you already draw a solid line here. How should I do that? Now, the trick is when you draw that, you always start from a dotted first. Okay? Because once you find that you have to draw a solid line, you just use this to connect them. Okay? Otherwise, you use a pencil, and then later you're going to use eraser to break some parts to make it like a dotted line. This one I'm super lucky because it has greater than or equal to, so it got to be a solid line. So the answer you're going to show me is you're going to graph this line, and then you're going to shade this whole area. When I see this graph, I'll be very happy, and that means you're doing a very good job. Okay, so this is one of the example, and it shows you the 4 steps to solve or to graph, because we cannot really actually solve it, but we can graph that. And the 4 steps. The first one, you're going to make it an equation. Second one, you're going to graph. And the third one, choose the test point to determine your solution region. And the last one, you're going to determine is a solid line or dotted line. Okay, and there's something that I want you to pay attention to, some special line. Okay, so if I want to show you that x is greater than or equal to 5, if I want you to show this, you have to ask yourself, are we talking about one-dimensional space, which means you only want me to show that on the number line, or it's an x, y coordinated plane, I have to show you the solution region. So if it's a number line, that's here's a 0, here's a 5, you need to do is this, solid, because it has equal, and then you just shade this, that. Okay, so this is what you're going to do if it's a one-dimensional space. But now, we're not doing this. We're doing the xy coordinate plane, so which means here. Here's x, here's y, here's a 0, and here's a 5. So x equals 5 is going to be this one, right? That's x equals 5. And then when they say greater than 5, and you can imagine that it's going to be from here to the right. Of course, you choose any point and determine, and you find your solution region is to the right of this line. Because here has an equal, x is greater than or equal, so this is going to be a solid line, and then you're going to shade this area from it. All right? So this is how you show me x is greater than or equal to 5. Now, do you know how to show me x is less than 5? And it's going to be like this. So here's a 0, here's a y, here's x, and here again, this is a 5. So x is less than 5 means to the left of this line, and also there's no equal. So you're going to keep that dotted, keep that as dotted line, and then show me this. Okay, so this, the whole region to the left, that is x less than 5. That means for every single point you choose on this solution region, their x coordinates are less than 5. All right, very similar how to do y is greater than 2. So again, you change that into an equation. Do you know how to graph y equals 2? Okay, so it's going to be a horizontal line. That means for every single point, their y coordinate is 2. And then y greater than 2 means from here and above. And do you have an equal sign here? You don't. So you keep that as a dotted line, and then you just shade the whole area above it. All right? Do you know how to show me y is less than or equal to 2? It's going to be the area under that, and I'm going to change that into a solid line. So these are the special, very special situation, okay? Just want to know that. Okay. I'm going to graph another one. I'm going to graph x. Can you find the solution region? X squared plus y squared greater than equal to 16. Do you remember the fourth step? The step 1, you're going to do x squared plus y squared equals 16. And the second one, you're going to graph x squared plus y squared equals 16, which is a circle with a radius of 4. And before I do anything, I would like to keep that dotted because I don't really know. But you already see here is equal, so you can put a solid, but I want to do that at the last step. So it's going to be a circle. Okay, just treat that as a good circle, okay? Okay, so that's a circle. And number 3, you're going to choose test points. Now, the thing is, this circle will break the whole plane into 2 parts. One is inside, the other one is outside. Is that right? So for inside, I'm going to choose 0, 0. And for outside, you can choose 5, 0. Okay, choose 5, 0. Okay. If you bring 0, 0 to your initial inequality, 0 squared plus 0 squared, is that greater than or equal to 16? No. So if 0, 0 is not a solution, which means the whole region inside the circle will not be a solution. Now 5, 0, x equals 5, so 25 plus 0, it is greater than 16. So outside is good. The whole area outside my circle, my solution region. Step 4. Is that going to be a solid line or dotted line? Because that has the equal sign, so I just need to change that into a solid line. All right, so you finished this question. So the whole area from this circle to the outside are going to be, I'll put that solid. It's going to be my solution region. Okay, so interesting, isn't it? All right, one more. This time is x minus 3y less than 6 and 2x plus 3y greater than or equal to negative 6. I got 2 lines, and then I'm looking for the region that every point in that region the points coordinate x and y would satisfy both inequalities. So basically, I'm going to do graph 2, and I get this solution region and this solution region because it's a system, so I have to find the mutual solution region. Okay, so I will do that. So for the first one, x minus 3y less than 6. Always remember the 4 steps. The first one, I'm going to write this as equal, okay, and equals 6, okay. And the second one, I'm going to graph. In order to graph, I choose 2 points. I can choose x equals 0. I can choose y equals 0. When x equals 0, negative 3y is 6, so y will be negative 2. And when y equals 0, x will be 6. So I could graph. And then the third one is test points. And the fourth one is, this one is less than, so it's going to be dotted. Okay? And I can graph here. Here's a 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Guess what? I can. Where's my board? My magic board. I'm gonna use this. Okay. It still have a little. It still have the lights there, but I think I'm okay with it. So I'm gonna use. Beautiful color. Okay. So I have 2 points. They are. Here is x. So 0, negative 2, which is here. And the other one is a 6, 0. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0. And then I'm going to graph. Before I do that, I might want to pay attention to the sign. It doesn't have the equal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dotted. Yeah. Okay, so I got this graph, and then my test point is, let me choose test point. I always like to choose 0, 0, and I'm going to choose another one right here. Okay, so my test point, I choose 0, 0, and the other one is 0. Here's 0, 0. Let me choose this one, or 0, negative 3, right? That's easy. So I choose 0, negative 3. And to see whether they would satisfy this inequality, if I choose 0, 0, 0 minus 0, it is less than 6. So 0, 0 works. That means the whole area should work. And then 0, negative 3. 0, negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. So 9 is not less than 6. Therefore, I have this region I can shade. Sorry, I try to keep that straight. So I can shade this region. Okay, that would be the solution region for my first inequality. Okay. Like that. All right. And then I'm going to work on the second one. Second, like out of space. All right, my second one is 2x plus 3y greater than or equal to negative 6. 2x plus 3y greater than or equal to negative 6. First step, 2x plus 3y equals negative 6. The second step, graph. Graph, I get it. X and y, x is 0, y is 0, and to find the other value, when x equals 0, 3y is negative 6, so y will be negative 2. Y is 0, x will be negative 3. So I have 0, negative 2, and a negative 3, 0. 0, negative 2, and a negative 3, 0. So that would be the points. 0, negative 2. Hey, they get exactly the same point here, right? 0, negative 2. And also negative 3, 0, which is right here. So I need to draw a line that passes through this. All right, so that's my green line. And then the next one, I'm going to choose the test point. Okay, so the test point, I choose what? I choose 0, 0. So this is green one. And then I choose 0, 0, and I choose this one, 0, negative 3. 0, negative 3, and see what happened. 0, 0. If I plug in 0 here, 0 plus 0, is that greater than, equal to negative 6? Yes, because 0 is greater. So that means this area should be good. And what about 0, negative 3? 0, and if you multiply by negative 3 by 3, that would be negative 9. And that's not greater than negative 6. Therefore, everything from here to the right should including this 0, 0. That's my green solution. Okay, and is that going to be a solid or dotted? Because here has equal sign. So it's going to be a solid line. All right, and it's going to be this. Now, can you tell me, if I give you these two solutions, where is the neutral? Where is the neutral solution? Do you know? It should be both purple, I guess that's a color, and a green. So therefore, we are going to drop here. Those are not the solution region, and these are not my solution region. Okay, did you see that? This is your solution region, but starting from here and the solid line and above, and from here dotted line above. So that's my solution region. If you show me, that would be your answer. Okay, is that interesting? So this is the system of inequalities, and the worst case, or the most hardest part, is this. Let me show you, give you the last example. Y is greater than x squared minus 4, x plus y less than or equal to 2. It's not hard at all. We get to just to do both. So the first one, we get a y greater than x squared minus 4. So 4 steps, okay? The first one, y equals x squared minus 4. And then graph. Do you know how to graph it? Yes, pick some x value, because in this case, our x is a square. So we're not going to just choose 2 points. And it's x squared, so I'm going to choose negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. That's x. And what is my y? When x equals negative 2, I get a square of that is 4 minus 4. That's a 0. And when x equals negative 1, then that's 1 minus 4, so it's minus a 3. And here's a negative 4, and a negative 3, and a 0. So I can graph. And the third one, I'm going to choose the test points. So I'm going to choose more. All right, now, if you graph, here's a 0, here's a y, and here's a 1 and a 2, here's a 1 and a 2, here's 1 and a 2, negative, positive. And then when x equals negative 2, it's a 0. We have a point here. Negative 1, then that will be negative 3. So that goes here. Okay, and then 0, negative 4. And then 1, negative 3. And then 2, 0. So we get a like this. Okay. Again, you might want to just draw the dotted. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to be dotted at the end, because I already go one step ahead. I already found that here is only greater, so I use dotted. Okay. Of course, this is step 4. Sometimes you can do that early. And then the test point. So this quadratic curve, again, that separates my whole plane into 2 pieces. One is inside this, the other one is outside. Okay, so inside, I'm going to choose 0, 0. And for outside, I can just choose the point here, which is a 3, 0. Okay, so once you choose 0, 0, and then 0, 0, you plug that in here, is 0 greater than 0 squared minus 4? Yes, so 0, 0 works. And what about 3, 0? 3 squared, 9, 9 minus 4 is a 5. Is a 0 greater than 5? No. Okay, so did you notice right now, like when you have like just a line to separate the whole plane into 2 regions, you might only need to choose one test point, isn't it? It is true. So every time that I choose 0, 0, if it's not directly on the line. All right, but anyway, so 0, 0 works, which means, so I'm going to use this to show the solution region, and also it doesn't have the equal sign, so I'm just use the dotted line. Okay, I did that for the first one, okay? And the second one, x plus y less than or equal to 2. So I do x plus y equals 2. When I graph, I choose x and y as 0 and 0 here. So there will be 0, 2, and 2, 0. 0, 2, and 2, 0. And here has the equal, so I'm going to have a solid line that passes through this point. All right, now I become a little lazy. I only choose 0, 0. So let's see, is 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 2? Yes. So therefore, from this line all the way to this side, because I need to go this region, which include 0, 0. I'm so sorry that has this. So this, everything to the left of this line is going to be my second solution region. Okay, now where is my neutral solution region? I choose another beautiful color to show you. It's going to be this. It's going to be this solid line and then dotted curve. And I show this. That's my solution region. Isn't it pretty? Yes. So this is how you solve the inequality when you the system of inequalities. Okay? And I think you're pretty much done.